We're going to turn our attention now to an awful story, really, I think, that happened in Spain over the weekend. So this was during Sunday's 2-1 La Liga defeat at Cadiz. Valencia, the players as a team, decided to walk off the pitch after an alleged racist comment before later actually returning and completing the match. So it was Mukhtar Diakabi who said that he felt that he was racially abused. He heard it. The player on the other side, the Cadiz player, was Juan Carla. And as it happened, the score was 1-1. It was about 36 minutes into the game. Instantly, he started walking off. And I've watched the footage back. And Gabriel Police used to play for Arsenal. He walks off with him as well. And as you're watching it, you think, what an amazing stand. Like, this is what people should be doing. This is really the only way in a game of football, it seems, like you're going to get some sort of action and some justification if you feel you've been racially abused. So that's what happens. They go back inside and then they come back out. So, and the worst thing about it for me is that Mukhtar Diakabi doesn't come back out. That his players, the Valencia players, do, and the match continues, and Valencia end up losing 2-1. For me, what apparently happened, I was reading up about this. Apparently, Mukhtar basically said to his teammates, if you don't go back out and play, we'll be docked points or we'll have to forfeit this game, which for me says more about La Liga's policies and the way that we are constantly saying to the powers that be in football, it's you that you are the ones that have to make something happen. If it's the players, and the players are actually now taking a stand, but then they're not backed up by La Liga, what more can they do? What do they do?
I think as well, all it takes is La Liga say to the player that we found guilty of racially abusing him, years, man. That's it. That'll stop it straight away. Even if players have got that in them, they'll be scared to say it to anyone on the pitch because they know a year ban's going to come. That's the easiest way to stop it for me. But do these bosses at the Liga and all these other leagues really want to do that? It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a disgrace, right? You shouldn't have to deal with that ever. You're seeing it more and more. The social media is just getting out of control at the minute. But as you know, and Gabby said this, is if you're not setting the example on the football pitch for everyone to see, how are you going to stop it everywhere else? So that is where it needs to be stopped.
I think you're right there with setting an example, Jamie, because in some ways you can't really influence a generation that are gone, if that makes sense. Like some generations are set in their ways and you're never going to kind of break through to them. But a lot of this racism that is spilling out into social media from society and from whatever reasons, it's coming from young people. And you're right about setting an example. If you're watching the game that you love, football, and football was saying, no, we don't accept it, which at the moment, on paper, it's saying we don't accept it. But in practice, incidents like this are almost saying, oh, no, football comes first. Go back and play the game.
You have to go out and back play.
Go back and play.
I feel sorry for the player as well because he's probably thinking, if I do go back on the pitch, I'm going to be sent off in the first second because if that wasn't me, I'm going to go and smash the player that done it when the ball's not even near him and get sent off, and then your team's down to 10
He's
men.
being punished.
Yeah, so he's being punished by coming off because he probably knows he's going to do that. And it's not fair, and there should be something now done because players, like the Rangers player, the reaction of these players, are not going to react like that and make it up. It's obviously that they've been racially abused. So it's guilty. It's not like allegedly or they've got to do an investigation. Both players that have done it, they're guilty. Year ban. Stay at home for a year and miss a year of football. You won't do it again.
I think the problem we've got is that football is bigger than what's actually happening. You know, there's too many powers that be that can say, no, if you don't go back out and play, you're going to get docked points. So as a player, as a teammate, you say, go on, lads, just go back out. But footballers and society and everyone involved in football needs to stand up together and say, we ain't going back out. Take the 3 points off us. Do what you want until something change and your policies change, and this starts changing on a football pitch. We're not playing.
Also, you just mentioned the Rangers game as well against Slavia Prague last month. That was the game. So Glenn Kamara was the player that was. I hate that I have to say allegedly. I actually hate it, but I have to say it, allegedly racially abused. In that game as well was where Kemar Roof had that collision with the goalkeeper, which looked absolutely awful. I spoke to Ali McCoist about it. We actually interviewed Kemar, and Ali was like, I've had an incident similar to that where I know when you're going in with such a speed and you haven't looked to where the goalkeeper is, goalkeeper comes rushing out. Basically, it happens. Since then, the racial abuse that he's receiving on social media, honestly, I was looking on Instagram the other day, and I saw one shot, and he screenshot something and put it up. What I didn't realise until I read it, and it was disgusting, of course. What I didn't realise was it was one of about 5 different screenshots that he'd put up just to say, this is what I'm getting daily. And it was only really when I went through it and I saw it, and I just thought, how is this still allowed to happen? We raised this a couple of weeks ago as well, where it's really obvious that if you do something that violates Twitter's or Instagram's guidelines, like if you put up some kind of commercially sensitive stuff, if you put up something from the Premier League that breaches copyright, it is brought down so fast. It's done, and they're probably, they'll probably come to your door, knock on your door, and say, right, here's a fine for this or that. Yeah. It can be done, but they don't do it with racism.
I think they've got the technology nowadays, haven't they, to clamp down on it, and just to make everyone put an address. Do you know what I mean? Some sort of identification that if you're caught racially abusing someone, you got the authorities, the police, round your house within an hour. Because I had someone during the week, I had some racially abusing comments on my Instagram, and I put it up, and my caption was just the new norm, because that's what it is. It's like there's no punishment. The guy who done it or the person who done it, they took the page down, and they set up a new one within minutes. That's what they do, so that's why they get away with it.
So as it happened, you report it straight away, right?
I don't even report it. I'll just put it on my Instagram, name and shame. Do you know what I mean? And leave that to your followers to report and stuff. But it's like you said there with Ruth, like it's just so easy for it to happen. You've seen it with Sanchez last night, Callum Robinson. So basically, if you score against a team now, the team you score against, their fans, one of their fans, going to racially abuse you.
Just on that though, with Gabby, the fact that that it's actually becoming a norm is shocking, right? It's shocking that black players are having to just accept that this is. I'm not even going to report it because nothing's going to get done. That is where the problem lies. They're losing faith. It's not good enough.
And you're right. What does the fact that you even said now you don't even bother reporting it?
Yeah,
because it's
what's the nothing's going to happen. Like we've seen Thierry Henry delete his Instagram recently.
You deleted your Twitter.
Yeah, I deleted my Twitter, but nothing happens. There's no they'll just be like, all right, he's gone. And, I've got millions of other people on Twitter and Instagram. They won't care up there. They're not going to make any changes. So it's just a shame for these players that have got to go through it. And some players aren't as strong as others. Do you know what I mean? Some players, what if it comes to the stage where a player's racially abused and, they hurt themselves because they can't take it? It upsets them that much. Is that what it has to come to before Instagram and Twitter make a change?
Kemal was saying that, actually. He was like, I consider myself as strong enough to deal with these kind of things. Not he should be, but he was like, not everyone is that strong. Some people have a different way of processing these kind of things. And if you're getting that day in, day out, I honestly don't think I'd be able to.
Because even like on here, I was working on Saturday night on the sports bar, and we had a caller, and obviously it was dubbed before it went out. But I was having a good convo with him, and then someone in the background said something racist to me, and then they dubbed it. Obviously we dubbed it, so we didn't go out. But then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, that one affected me because I was thinking I'm having a good convo with the guy on the call. I don't know what. I think it was an Arsenal fan or Everton fan, and then just someone maybe drunken in the background has said it, and I'm like, why? There was nothing. I wasn't even having a go at the team that we were talking about. We were having a good conversation with a caller. So it's just things like that I just don't understand. It's like it's so easy for people to just come out with it. Does that make sense? Strange.
God, I'm really sorry, Gabby. I didn't actually know that happened. It's horrendous, isn't it? Like it's absolutely horrendous. I do hope as well, at least if someone's called up, that talkSPORT have a record of his number.
I think, to be fair, the guy that we was talking to, he put the phone down straight away because he probably thought, what's my friend said here?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Someone drunken in the background. But it's just something that people might stop doing when the social media companies snap down on it, the Premier League, the UEFA, the punishments are higher. People are like, oh, you can get like a massive fine or a little sentence for this. A prison sentence for it, then people would be like, oh, okay, I won't do it. But the way we're going now, it's like, all right, put that under the paper, next one. So it's just shocking, to be fair. And the Valencia player having to go through that and then having to come off, it's just it's heartbreaking, isn't it?
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday morning 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.